Mm-hmm. 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 Surprise, traders! How are we doing, guys? God bless each and every single one of you guys. Today, we're going to be going over stock ticker AMC as well as Gamestop and the broader market. So make sure to stay until the end of the video because we're going to give an update on our thesis for AMC and GameStop. And you have been developing quite beautifully, actually. Just want to give a transparent statement there. And when you look at the earnings report for AMC, you saw an reported 13.6% year-over-year attendance rise, which is bullish, right? As well as a higher average ticket prices, boosting revenue and gaining through things like food and beverage spend. So this is a good sign in general. You did miss earnings ever so slightly by a couple pennies, but you have seen short interest begin to build again, right? As you look towards this next leg of price action, you have done exactly what we've talked about in our previous videos. You have done exactly as we've said in our previous videos, seeing consolidation before that next leg higher, and specifically consolidation all the way and into the 50-day EMA, which we told you guys would be the most bullish scenario for AMC, holding 144, which you went to literally perfectly to a T, going down to 142 and then finding a bounce outside of this falling wedge or flag formation. Not only did you tap the 50, you tapped 144, you saw consolidation, and you've piled in your next level of shorts that are about to get fried, right? Short interest coming back up to 16%. So regardless of what happened, right, you did miss earnings by 3 cents per share. But what we want to talk about is the broader picture for AMC, right? When you look at this on the daily time frame, you have a beautiful reversal formation here, a falling wedge followed by a rally, right, traders, of upwards of 110%. Now, what you've seen here was consolidation within a beautiful falling wedge and then a rally already up on the day 10% from earnings. You got some good news from earnings, but the bigger story here is you've broken out of your bullish reversal formation. You've broken and retested the 50-day or the 50 line on the RSI, right? These are things that we talked about being the most bullish scenario on AMC. And this thing could peel back 30% tomorrow. Honestly, no one knows. But the setup is there, traders, and that's what we're covering. On the daily time frame, what we've talked about repeatedly for the bull or bearish scenario was that you had a gap fill currently sitting at 128 and 112. I'm not neglecting that those are there, but I am saying that this thing has cleared your previous 1, 2, 3, 4 closes in one candle, guys. That's a bullish engulfing of the last 4 days. That is crazy. When you look at the weekly time frame, you still need to break the volume that you've seen consolidate here downwards after 3 weeks in a row, traders. The most bullish reversal signal in the markets or candlestick formation is a 3 white soldiers pattern. You got that, right? 1, 2, 3 whole body wicks closing above each other with 1, 2, 3 rising volume bars. From that, you saw a nice consolidation of 2 red candles, each above 10%. But what you've seen is this volume exhaustion out of the stock while you build a base here and form this more shoulder, head, and shoulder-like structure. So if this is a invert head and shoulders, the natural progression here is you're going to come all the way back to this 175 territory. And what did you do, right? On the weekly, or on the 4 hour, excuse me. Let's see. Where did I have it drawn? I had it drawn somewhere here. It was on the 4 hour chart. Yes, on the 4 hour chart in the after hours during earnings. What did you do? I drew these 2 horizontal trend lines weeks ago, and you guys can fact check me. But we had this falling wedge and then your support and your resistance. You tapped support and you came all the way back into resistance during your earnings. Now, what you saw from that was you saw consolidation off of the rip up here, holding the highs of this previous candle while you see the 9-day on the 4 hour about to cross through the 50. That should act as a nice launch pad to get above 175. And if you're able to do that tomorrow, traders, you should see this thing move past your neckline here on the inverted head and shoulders, with the profit target being pretty substantial, right? That is your next leg up on AMC, and that should gain us another further 71% on the freaking stock, guys. So that gets me excited. That gets me jacked. Some things that I'm watching for on the daily time frame. Let's pull it up. You have volume still below the previous bar. So you want to see volume step up off of this rip outside of this falling wedge. Like we talked about, right? Your price target being pretty substantial. Pretty substantial. The most important part of this, though, traders, getting upwards of $2, $2.50 to $3 is on the daily time frame for AMC. You are going to be above the 200-day EMA, and that is what is really substantial here. And if you don't listen to anything else, I want you to listen to this. Getting back above 202 on the larger time frame of the daily will warrant you a macro flip on this stock. That will get you back above the 200-day EMA for the first time in forever. For the first time since really back in 2022 of August. So you have not seen a consolidated close above that metric until then, right? 3-4 years ago. What you're doing here is the most bullish option, breaking above the 50, retesting it, and then hopefully launching off of it, guys. I could not be more excited for you guys to finally win again, and it feels like the whole market's coming to risk on. As you can see, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but IWM, let's pull it up. IWM seeing all-time highs, back-to-back-to-back days, as you saw this very nice breakout of the falling broadening wedge we had drawn up here into a flag formation at all-time highs. You literally retest the previous all-time high here at 269, and then you blast off of it outside of the flag, giving you a potential profit target of $300 on IWM. If this occurs, guys, I expect AMC and Gamestop to find a little bit of a bid up higher as you see a lot of these small cap stocks begin to outperform the larger market. That's the best case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, you fail to get back above this resistance trend, the golden resistance trend, that you established back all the way in 2021, right? You had this bounce here in 2022, 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024, and then now you've seen your most recent rejections off of this golden trend line going all the way back to 2025. So this is upwards of 5-year resistance here that you're coming to a head. You've rejected it once already in this local run, twice really, seen a pullback of 26%. And that has really set up the formation here that we were talking about, right? This inverted shoulder, head, right shoulder could not be more clear, right? Once you break 175 or 180, this thing is going to go parabolic. You're going to go up to 205. If you can get back above the 200, you're going probably straight to $3, in all honesty. There's not a lot of liquidity traded in this markdown to where AMC could climb very, very quickly. So the stock looks set up. Whether or not it runs is going to be a fascination of mine, but we're going to continue to cover it every single day for you guys. So make sure to slap the like button, slap the subscribe, and help the algorithm find this channel. Going into GameStop, right? You saw some crazy price action with the CNBC interview, which everyone has their own comments on. I prefer to not comment on it, but I do say I believe in the long-term trajectory of this company as you have a very ambitious CEO at helm, right? I posted this particularly if I go to content and I go to posts, right? We posted this formation the other night on the 4th. Saying, what do we call this move, traders? And we saw a lot of different and good comments saying, retest, a good place to load calls, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but that is a beautiful retest off of this breakout. You had a little bit of a rising wedge here, which you dipped outside of, hit this resistance trend, and then really just knifed. And the volume here has been insane. But what's more important is you've retested successfully on this wedge formation, and that allows for you to then go higher, right? If you see IWM continue to absolutely smack the ask, I would not be surprised here to see GME also follow, right? Regardless of what happens, once you get some clarity, I expect this thing to continue on the uptrend. Going into GameStop on the weekly time frame, you came all the way back within this wedge today, at one point touching $23, I believe, and $22.85 is crazy. And you really wicked off of the 200-day EMA. So in case you guys were wondering why you came all the way back here, you really just wicked off of previous resistance, right? Resistance. And now you're making it new support. And that should warrant a pretty nice move, hopefully, right? Since it is a technical higher low, that this becomes a technical higher high. And although you can't see it on the weekly chart, you go to the 4-hour, you went all the way up to $30, guys. So in such a short time frame, such a short period, you went down 23%. I expect once there's some clarity on this offer and this deal, right, some guidance from CEO Ryan Cohen, for this thing to turn around pretty quickly, because the trajectory of this company, if you are able to pull off an eBay acquisition, is going to be monumental. And the sky will be the limit, because we already know, right, Ryan Cohen is the dude when it comes to cutting costs. And if he gets in there as chair of eBay, he's going to cut so much fat. It's going to be insane. But further confirmation, right, of the volume being important on this stock. I want you guys to pay attention in this volume exhausted trend where my cursor is. And you saw big boom boom candles on the volume and the price. What I'm expecting here, what I want to see is for you to hold above the golden cross, right? You were able to successfully test it, and then now you've risen back above it, but you've pretty much rejected the 9-day EMA. You need to get back above the 9, because if you fail here, it's likely you kind of trickle back down, and nobody wants to retest 22 because then you're dangerously close to making this a fake breakout rounding top, and then you go fill your gaps, currently sitting at 21.25, right? Anything is possible, and that's why I want to say not financial advice, right? You do have the gaps currently sitting at 21.93 and 21.25, but the long-term trajectory of this stock is beautiful. I think it's set up on the longer time frames as well. When you look at the monthly time frame on the RSI, we talked about this, right? This breakout on the RSI on the monthly is substantial, right? You saw a coiling here, consolidation, break above the monthly RSI band, and now you're retesting it. If you fail to hold that, traders, that will be yet again another fake out breakout on the monthly RSI band. You've really only seen 2 successful breakouts in this metric in the last 6 years. And if you were to guess the moves, I will just highlight them for you because they are very clear and evident. I'm going to do a vertical line here, right? That's your first break of the monthly RSI band. And I'm going to do another vertical line here. And just for comedic relief, I'm going to zoom all the way out. I'm going to show you this is what happens, right? When you see that kind of monumental bullish shift in the stock. So if you're able to retest here, not only will it be bullish, it will scream buy for GameStop. So that is what we're watching for in the macro time frames. Short-term time frame, hold above the daily 9-day EMA and continue to pump out some good news, right? You have Ryan Cohen going out actively talking about the deal now. And so hopefully that can act as some clarity for the shareholders. All right, going into IWM, because this is one of the most important parts of the entire video. IWM, right? Making its higher highs and higher lows, seeing a breakout of this consolidation channel here. You could not have had a more beautiful retest of not just the top side of this wedge, but also the 9-day EMA, right? You saw a beautiful break on the 30th, hammer candle, retest of a bearish spinning top, and then boom, right? a 2% day on IWM. So you close towards the top on this candle, which makes me believe you're going to open up tomorrow green, right? Hopefully. Regarding any tweets, hopefully no tweets, please. You stopped the daily MACD from curling down, and you really have a lot of upside here to potentially 250 or 295, right? So that's what we're watching for on IWM. I'd like for volume to spike up here instead of curl down, but you did see a nice little break of this volume trend, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row of green weeks. So the RSI, I can imagine, is pretty overcooked. But then you saw a higher volume week. Now, the volume this week is beyond low. So we might be screwed. But we're going to have to wait and find out. Let's look on the RSI on the daily time frame. You've gotten back above the RSI band on the daily, and you're pushing the bull zone, right? This is where the real volatility happens. So if you want to see some kind of blow off top, this is it. Right, last time you went into the bull zone on IWM, you saw a 2.16% day. The previous time you saw a 2% day. The previous time after that, you saw a nice little rally, right? But this is truthfully where the craziest stuff happens. And you're starting to break what we had here as a potential rising wedge, right? Within this trading zone, tap, tap, rejection here, and then you're starting to blast through. So there is some hope here that there's a lot of room to run potentially into this high 300 area. But in order for that to happen, right, you need to see probably a pull up, a breather, and then a spring, just like you have on the monthly, right? The more you zoom out, the more bullish it gets. I'm just going to erase that because that is toast now. Erase that. What you've seen essentially, and what we covered in our last video, was that this was a big fat cup and handle, right? With a breakout and a retest of the neckline. From that, you saw a bullish engulfing candle, guys, going up 12% in a month. And as well as that, we highlighted in our last video all of the bullish engulfing candles that you've had in the last 10 years, right? Boom, boom, boom. And this is your fourth one, right? On the monthly time frame, every single time you've seen pretty substantial returns from IWM. This is over the span of a year, 50%, right? This is over the span of 119 days, 53%. This is over the span of 2 years, 50%. So almost a 50% move every single time on the monthly you've seen a bullish engulfing trend, guys. And people are bearish right now. That's what I'm not understanding. So I think that's all I have for the day. Make sure to subscribe. It would mean a lot. And to hit the like button. Any donations help. God bless each and every single one of you guys. And remember, traders, the best is yet to come. I love all you, and bye.